Nicolas Pépé scored twice to send the Ivory Coast into the World Cup knockout rounds for the first time in the nation's history. Just years earlier, he had reached a breaking point while at Arsenal. He was relegated to the bench and widely dismissed as a failed £72 million experiment. The path from a record-breaking punchline to a World Cup savior isn't about trying harder. It requires a complete tactical and psychological overhaul. When an elite athlete's performance collapses, it is rarely a sudden loss of ability. Instead, it's the result of being trapped in a mix of accounting needs and rigid systems. In the summer of 2019, Arsenal manager Unai Emery needed a high-level winger to fix a stagnating attack. However, the club's board was operating with very little upfront cash for transfers. Their first choice was Wilfried Zaha. That deal collapsed when Crystal Palace demanded the £80 million fee be paid entirely in cash up front. This shows how the club pivoted. They signed Nicolas Pépé because Lille accepted payment in long-term installments. By spreading the cost over several years, Arsenal completed the signing without a massive cash outlay. But this structure inflated the price to a club record £72 million. The £72 million figure meant Pépé arrived with the expectations of a superstar before he had even kicked a ball. He was an accounting compromise forced into the spotlight as an elite savior. The financial structure of the deal ensured that any struggle on the pitch would be viewed through the lens of that massive fee. The environment changed when Mikel Arteta took over. His system relies on strict positional discipline, which left no room for Pépé's high-risk, intuitive style of play. At the same time, Bukayo Saka took control of the right wing. His consistency made him untouchable, leaving Pépé with almost no path back into the starting 11. The pressure became overwhelming. Facing constant criticism and sitting on the bench without explanation, Pépé admitted he nearly walked away from the sport entirely. Tactical misalignment and mental exhaustion turned a club record investment into a liability. In September 2023, Arsenal terminated his contract a year early just to get him off the books. Pépé restarted his career in 2024 at Villarreal. In the technical environment of La Liga, he found a manager in Marcelino who prioritized open communication over rigid systems. This tactical map shows Marcelino's compact 4-4-2. By keeping lines tight, Villarreal forces wide turnovers, creating the space Pépé needs. Instead of fighting dense blocks, he could wait for vertical passes, finishing the season with 8 goals and 8 assists. But as his domestic form recovered, his international career collapsed. A YouTube interview in late 2024 sparked a controversy over his comments about Morocco's tournament record. He was targeted with online abuse, entered a dispute with his federation, and suffered the fallout. He was dropped from the national team entirely. He watched from home as his teammates won the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations title without him. The club exile had ended, but it was immediately replaced by an international exile that seemed permanent. In March 2026, the situation shifted. An injury to a starting forward left the Ivory Coast short of attacking options just months before the World Cup. Coach Emerse Faye ignored the previous controversy and recalled Pépé, banking on the consistency he had shown in Spain. Pépé took the chance immediately, scoring the winning goal in a warm-up match against Scotland to prove he could still perform at the highest level. That performance convinced the coaching staff he belonged in the final 26-man squad traveling to North America. On June 25, 2026, the Ivory Coast walked into Lincoln Financial Field for a high-stakes group match against Curaçao. Pépé scored twice to lead his team to a 2-0 win. The victory secured the Ivory Coast's first-ever appearance in a World Cup knockout round. Pépé's journey suggests that a flop is often just a player trapped in a dysfunctional system. When tactical and psychological safety are restored, the talent that earned the fee in the first place has a chance to reappear.